It must have been such a daunting task to have a sequel to Psycho, but to bring one out that's as accomplished and as perfect a companion piece to the first Psycho is truly remarkable, coming 20 years after the original, directed by Richard Franklin, who I think is the closest auteur to Hitchcock since Hitchcock. This just turns out to be a marvellously constructed, twisting, turning sequel to Psycho. Now, it manages to balance itself between honouring the original, giving you familiar shots from the first one, having our characters back, but with creating a more interesting story rather than just rehashing what happened in the first one, which I really like.
On the basis of the staff report, Norman Bates is judged restored to sanity and is ordered released forthwith.
What about his victims?
So the story here is set with Norman Bates being released from the mental asylum. Robert Loggia is his psychiatrist and deems him fit to return to society, sorting out a job with him, taking him back to his home, and everything is looking as if it's going to be great. But there is one kind of thorn in the side, I would say, and that's Lilia Crane Loomis, the sister of our character that was killed at the start of Psycho, and she just doesn't want this man to be released. She thinks he's a menace and that he will start to kill again. And well, things get a little bit spooky for Norman as he starts to receive these strange phone calls from Mother, as he starts to see these notes from Mother appearing everywhere, as he starts to feel like his grasp on sanity is slowly disappearing. Mother seems to be roaming the house once more with her sharp blade. There are so many things about Psycho 2 which I truly love. The way it harkens back to the original, almost mimicking certain shots but adding a new spin to them, which feels rather adept from a secure filmmaker that knows exactly what he wants to do. Addition of various characters, the way it takes you down an avenue of telling you a story, with creating a wonderful mystery. Now, the mystery is kind of stolen from the movie, or you would think so, after the end of Psycho. But here we get a whole new facet of mystery that's going on. Who's making the phone calls? Is Norman's mother back? Is he losing his grip on sanity? Is someone playing games with him? It toys with all these different factions, and it creates a terrifically playful, fun and entertaining sequel that has absolutely no right to be as good as it is. It is anything but formulaic. It is a sequel, but it almost rivals the original in how fantastic it is. The inclusion of Meg Tilly's character Mary is just wonderful. She's working at the diner with Norman. She ends up living in the house with him. She knows the backstory of what's going on, but she's still able to have those conversations, a little bit guarded, careful, knowing what she's doing, but she still thinks that he is a better person, someone that has moved on from the tragedy that had previously happened, someone that is trying to make amends and trying to be a better person, and she kind of sees what's going on but tries to help him.
My mother's. She's the one who's been doing the killing to protect me. She told me so herself.
Oh, Norman. You're mad, don't you know that?
It's full of great character actors like Dennis Franz, like Robert Loggia, like Meg Tilly, Vera Miles. It's got a wonderful cast, but for me, the key here is the screenplay and the direction. I think it's so adept and it's so familiar with the touches that Hitchcock would add. It feels like a natural continuation of that story, and it's so perfectly placed. Psycho 2 is phenomenal. It's terrific. It's way better than it had any right to be, and it's such a fantastic sequel. If you haven't seen this, or you wrote it off as being sequel to Psycho, how dare they, this is something you need to see. If you're a fan of the original, please check this out. I think you're going to love it. Let's jump into the disc for Psycho 2 and check out the extras that are on show here. Let's go to the special features. If we went to commentaries, you'll see there's a commentary by Michael Brook and Johnny Maines, and we have a commentary by the screenwriter Tom Holland. Behind the Curtain, Masters of Horror on Psycho, Rob Galuzio, director of the Psycho Legacy, leads a panel discussion with Tom Holland and Mick Garris. This is a really fun addition to this disc. It's 43 minutes 3 seconds. They've got some great anecdotes talking about how they discovered the world of Psycho, being involved in the films that those guys were instrumental in working on. Great discussion. Giving Block his due, we have Chet Williamson, author of Psycho Sanitarium, discusses the legacy of Norman Bates and the creator, author Robert Bloch. This is 9 minutes 11 seconds. Talking about basically Bloch's career, how he became a big fan after the movie Psycho and discovering his written works, how he worked on a sequel to Psycho. It's a good talking head. You have the Anthony Perkins TV interview, which is 7 minutes 1 second. We have the Anthony Perkins audio interview, which is 2 minutes 21 seconds. We have a Richard Franklin audio interview. Now this one in particular is great. It's 20 minutes exactly. He gets into how he kind of got on the project, how it was, wasn't sure how it was going to work, how the success kind of led after the fact and things like that. Lots of great information here. You get Richard Franklin on set, which is basically just a little promotion for the movie. It's 1 minute 54 seconds. And we have a Richard Franklin scene commentary. It's one scene, it's 5 minutes 33 seconds, but it's nice to hear him talk about it. I wish we had a full commentary of him. Into the vintage featurettes are all things that are relating to the first Psycho of sorts, and we have these that are all a few minutes each length. They're all interesting, quirky little extras. My favourite being the house on the hill, which has Hitchcock talking about the Bates house. We have the Jerry Goldsmith demo, which is 1 minute 50, and just a little bit of music that was, before he got stuck right into the soundtrack. We have trailers, which total 5 minutes 41 seconds, TV spots, which total 2 minutes 1 second, an image gallery, an audio press kit, which is kind of played over the movie. Various elements here. I'm not sure if it's a nice addition, but not an essential must watch. And we have a promotional record gallery as well. And that's the extras for Psycho 2. So there we have it. Psycho 2 out now, part of the Psycho box set, which is going to be available soon. I think you should pick it up solely for Psycho 2 and Psycho. I think they're terrific movies. Of course, I'll be reviewing the rest of them, so stick with me and we cover parts 3, parts 4 pretty soon. I would love to know your thoughts on Psycho 2. Do you love it like I do? Let me know in the comment box whether you love it, hate it, fall somewhere in the middle. I can't wait to read your opinion on what I think is a classic sequel. As always, there's more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to the Patreon, membership program and manvfilm.com. Always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.